he took you on tour and then you said, okay, this is what I want to do. Did you then? What was the idea then? Was it just to be in his band? What was your thoughts about how your career would
Uh,
go?
after that, what I did was I said, okay, I did this. I never really wanted to be a solo artist. I was just strictly looking at production, writing as my focus. But I did. I had a group. I was in a group called New World that was signed to my godfather's label, Unlimited Gold. He said this will be the stepping stone to people really knowing who you are and what you're about. So we did an entire record. We actually put out a single called "Don't Let Go," which was a ballad that my godfather produced and locally in LA. And it did well. It did, well for us. It did great. Uh, After that, uh, my godfather, he disbanded his label, and then I ended up joining a group called Tease right directly after that. And I was kind of like the keyboard player, so and so. But at that time, I was also part of uh, I was part of a production group in the Valley, in San Fernando Valley, called Jam Power Records, where I was also producing new artists at the same time. So
Ah,
I was always busy, man. I was doing two and three things at once, even as a young guy. So I did a lot. That's where I got a lot of my work ethic by working with Tees and working with this company called Jam Power Records in the Valley.
now I think one of the things I've heard about Barry White, I've seen some clips of him talking about the business that it's you have to work and about all the ins and outs of the business. Being that close to you, did he explain this is the business side, everything from publishing and points and all this stuff and
Oh yeah,
about
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, so far it's like that part was easy.
to
I
learn?
think to learn about the business. The bad part was that at that particular time, the business was changing. It
Wow.
was changing. Everything was going digital. Everything was just really changing as far as the business ethic of the music business was changing. So, yeah, it was cool that I did learn a lot about the old school, but everything was just changing so fast. So I was in a position to where it's like, okay, we're entering a new area for the music and the music business. Uh, so it was a little difficult for me, but at the same time, it was very challenging. But it was something that I was willing to accept.
When you did during those early days in LA, who were the people that everyone might know now that you ran across before they made it big?
Uh, well, I went to high school with DL Hughley.
Okay.
DL was
Okay.
DL was my dude. He was my friend in school. So,
Wow.
but I know I shouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. But he was a little gangbanger in school, so I couldn't hang with him too much,
Okay.
So he was DL was wild, man. DL was crazy. He was the type of guy like we would go to school. I would always meet him in front of school, every morning, and we would go walking in. We go walking into the school, and he had this bomber jacket, and I'm like, DL, man, it's like 80 degrees out here, man. It's like, why are you wearing this bomber jacket? Man, he'd open up his jacket. He got like a machete in his jacket. I'm like, dude. I was like, what?
Well,
I
I
said, what
can.
you got that? I said, what is that for? He said, man, there's this dude, man, in this dude in class, man. Man, he said, I swear for God, if you say one more thing to me, I'm gonna chop him up. That's the kind of dude
Oh
DL was in
my
school.
goodness.
Oh,
Fuck.
he was crazy.
But did you ever think he'll make it big as a comedian and stuff? Or
You know, I didn't. I never looked at him as a comedian. I just think he was such a banger in high school. He was such a banger in school. I just didn't see him as that. I never recall DL as being funny ever in school, ever, never, not once.
wow. I
And
mean
he'll
that.
tell you if you ask DL now, he gonna say, "Hey man, I heard Chuckii." He gonna say, "Oh man, he always tell that story," but it's the truth. He says, I'll never get away from that. You won't. DL was a monster in school.
But I think that's always good to see that people can change. I mean, because anyone
Yeah.
can now just think of him as one of the funniest guys out there, but to know that that wasn't his beginning, it means that you can.
It was. Yeah, it was his beginning.
Oh, goodness.
It's for real.
But you're in LA. You've got Hollywood, where the world sees as the capital of stars. Did you see stardom and stuff as a kid growing up in LA? Did you think
that stuff never bothered me. I think that's one of the other reasons why I can work with so many different people, because I am nowhere near that starstruck, because I grew up in it. You know, I grew up in a time where I was in the studio with my godfather, and then, he get a call and it's Michael Jackson is on the phone, or, Jermaine Jackson come over to the house and hangs out. He's got all these people coming through, and I'm just like, he used to say, Chuckii, this is Jermaine. They say hi. Jermaine was cool. He was like, hey, and I'm just like, hey, it's cool.
Wow. Did you ever see Michael as a kid?
Michael used to go over to my godfather's house, but he would never allow us to go up to the studio whenever he showed up.
Okay.
He never did, but we knew he was up there, but we never, he would keep that time close and personal, for them two.
Okay.
But he never, but I knew he was there, but we never were allowed to, hang out with him or meet him or anything like that. So.
You mentioned being in that production stuff. Were any ones that broke out that you produced in those early days when you were with that production company?
No, not really. Not really. No one really broke out, other than I did work with one artist named Melanie Andrews, she was a solo artist on the Jam Power label. She ended up, at that time, she was one of the best, really good friends of Janet Jackson. And so she co-wrote Let's Wait a While with Janet. At the time when we, but she was also part of this production company that I worked for. So Melanie did very well. She did very well.
Wow. How did the transition? Because you're doing a group, you're doing a production. And actually, when he folded his label, did you then think, oh, it's over, or what was?
Oh no, because at that time I was already working with Tease, the band Tease, and I was doing their production stuff, and for the production company in the Valley, I was doing that. I was also writing and doing other stuff. I was just really, I was just working. I was doing my thing, man. That didn't stop me.
Was this? Did you think you were living your dream? That was you producing and this small musician at the side. Was that to you what you wanted, or did you think?
Oh yeah. That's what I just wanted to be a music producer. I just wanted to write records and produce. I did not want to be a solo artist at all. That was all by accident.
But who were you? Who were you looking at as producers wise? Back then, especially in the 80s, that you were like, wow, look what they're doing. And
the only, I would say, producers that really got a hold of me, really just grabbed me. Well, one was, of course, my godfather.
Yeah.
Second was David Foster.
Wow.
He's one of my idols.
So you're talking about Unbreak My Heart, David Foster.
Oh man. I got stories, bro. I got serious stories, man. But me and David, but alongside I have four idols, and basically that I look up to. Barry, one. Stevie Wonder's another, who I just patterned my musical sense around as a kid. David Foster and Jimmy and Terry. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. Those are my guys. That's my, I call my fantabulous four.
Hey, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you love what you watched, there's over 100 artists that we've interviewed. So please check out the videos. Remember to like, share, and unsubscribe. Or better still, become a member of Halftime Chat and get exclusive videos ahead of time. But thanks for watching. Take care.